can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
We, Suzanne Stanley and myself, are anchored off... we're off... Where in the hell are we? We're off South... What?
No, we're off in
Makona Inlet in the Whitsundays in a little lagoon. We're the only people here, and it makes us think, Dick, if you're listening to this, just before I introduce you, well, we got Dick from Muff, Richard Wollstonecroft, and we've got Ivan. Ivan's made a welcome. Well, so this is like three-way turf talk with Bert Bryant. But what was that pirated radio station that was out in the middle of off the British Isles, Dick, that used to play all the pirated music?
Yeah, I can't remember its name. It was something like Pirate FM, wasn't it? Something like that?
No, it was something like that. Anyhow, that's like we are here. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Now, anyhow, it's very nice to speak to you both. Now, you just so we don't talk over another. So right. Go ahead, Ivan.
Would agree to let their best player go, even if he did.
So what's the...
Go ahead.
No.
Yep.
The weather up there, I saw on the news this morning that it looks like a catastrophe up there in Queensland. Are you driving around in the fog?
It was a catastrophe a couple of days ago. We went out in it just to test the boat because the boat hadn't been working for a month, and I took it out, and it was horrendous weather. It was almost cyclonic, and we actually got so overcome by the weather, we turned around and went home. But today, it's, beautiful one day, fantastic the next. We're out and we're just in a lagoon, just floating as we speak to you all. So there's the weather check, Ivan. Dick, at any time you want to join in, just do so. But what's happening, Ivan? I notice, well, I'll tell you what I notice.
Yeah.
This is, we'll get on to the Olympics in a minute. Let me get on to the Olympics in a minute. But
I've got plenty of topics. I've got plenty of topics here, so I've got more topics than.
Give us one.
E-scooters. How do you feel about e-scooters here in Melbourne?
Are they, Ivan?
Well, they're just.
I think they were stupid. You know, they're part of this 15-minute city program that the World Economic Forum wants to bring in, where basically they get rid of everyone's cars. They keep everybody inside a 15-minute city. They say it's all for climate change, which we all know is a bunch of bullshit. And, so I think getting rid of the scooters is a good thing because it will set back their stupid 15-minute city, which is 15 minutes. Tonight, probably at the moment, as we speak, the council are deliberating whether to keep the scooters or not. So if they say no more scooters, then I think there's 30 days notice, goes to Lime, which is the green ones, and the orange ones, Neutron. And they'll be banned. You won't see them. But, of course, you'll be able to keep your private ones.
I'm glad you said that, Ivan. You'll be able to keep the private ones, but Lime, who, as I understand, were given a contract by the Melbourne City Council or the Greater Melbourne area to use the Lime scooters, now they're cancelling the contract. Is that right?
It's up for debate today, so we'll have an announcement tomorrow at some stage, whether they're going to move forward or we'll go back to 1980s.
See them laying around the city. People have upturned them and they're just laying in the gutter. And, I never thought it would work because there's actually a kind of almost a communist experiment in the sense it was like these communal bikes. And there's something, kind of communistic about it that I instantly took a kind of dislike to.
Yeah, and right, you would, Dick. So just looking ahead, would you think that the Lime Scooter Company would be massively into whoever's cancelled the contract, seeing as the infrastructure and the rolling stock that they've purchased to get the thing up and running has now been taken from under them? Would you think that would be a case that they would charge the council with?
I think what's going to really happen, they're going to throw it out there in the media and say, we're going to get rid of the bikes. I don't think they're really going to get rid of them. I think they're going to put them on notice. They're going to say you're going to need to dial back some of your speed. You've got to put more procedures in place to clean them up. Because I know, and Sue will back me up on this, if you go around the city at about 6 a.m., 6:30 in the morning, there's all these little trucks putting all the scooters back into some sort of order.
Absolutely, Ivan.
there we go.
The only thing is is I think that the state government have already said and given them warnings prior. That's why they started. Right. They did start to clamp. So I don't know how many strikes they would get. If it's 3 strikes, you're out, and maybe they've done the 3rd strike.
So hang on a minute. So if what onus is on the scooter company for people to ride them properly and wear helmets and not speed? What is the onus on the scooter company? That's a law enforcement protocol, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, there's a few sort of technology features that they can do, and they have done. So after 11 p.m. at night, they can dial back the speed. You have to do a drunk test. So it is. Well, there we go. We've got all the procedures, just like communist China.
Exactly, mate. It doesn't work.
No, that's it. Everyone can get around. You can always get your neighbour to try and order it.
All this scooter rubbish has gone hand in hand with removing cars from the city. I have friends who own nightclub venues, in the Melbourne CBD, and they just said it's really hard to get a park, in the CBD. And I know that myself because occasionally I might pop into a friend's bar. It's just really hard getting a car in there. They've turned all the, like there used to be 2 or 3 lanes. They've turned into 1 lane with these stupid bike lanes everywhere.
But that's not the e-scooter fault. But that's not the e-scooter's fault.
Well, it's all part of a broader agenda, in my opinion, Sue. Don't you think? They get rid of cars and then they replace them with these stupid scooters.
It's scooters like a bike. It's probably a lot more convenient because people don't own a bike. It's just something that you can conveniently go and get an e-scooter, ride it from A to B. I agree with the rules should be tighter. I do agree with that, but they are very convenient. I was always anti them.
So is this just dipping a toe in the water to banning them altogether, even the private ones?
I don't think so. I hope not, because I'm on the side of Sue. I think they're a good thing. Well, not totally good, but I think they're worthwhile. In fact, if you ask me, scooters do better for the environment than EV cars.
We don't need to do anything for the environment, mate. There's nothing wrong with the environment in this country. We have over 30 billion trees. We are carbon neutral already. We don't need to do a fucking
I'm guessing
thing.
You walk everywhere, do you, Dick?
No, what's wrong with a cab, Sue? We can get a cab. We can employ
but we live in the
drivers.
CBD. We live in the CBD. We can't drive our car. It's like we
get free trams.
Yeah.
I agree that private ownership is great, because I'm into private enterprise. I just don't like these...
well, the state government,
I felt they were like communists.
State government have announced that they were in July. So as of the 1st of August, was it, Ivan, that the state government approved the e-scooters, and then yet the state, but then councils have the right to either have the contracts.
So the state government gives them the contract, and then it's up to the individual councils to say whether you can use them in your precinct or not.
Allowing the contractors. So allowing the contractors.
Stone me. How is that the province of the scooter companies to make sure people drive them properly? It's like Toyota make cars. People drive them irresponsibly. It's not Toyota's fault, is it?
Well, I suppose
that's exactly right.
If there was an easy drop-off point like a bike rack, that would be a convenient spot. So what happens is that they don't. So the Lime scooters or the other scooters...
Because no one gives us stuff. They rent them and they just, as Dick says, turn them upside down, throw them in the Yarra, just get rid of them.
Yep.
No, hang on. So this is very well, Sam and Sue. So they're geo-fenced. So you can't just go and park them in the middle of the Yarra. So they won't let you, because you've got to have a credit card and all that and have an account so you can start it. But if you go and try and drop it off where in an area that you can't...
Yes, that's true.
Then you just credit card just ticks along until you run out of money.
About that. It's a bit like a social control, social credit system. It's like they want to bring in digital ID so that, everything is under control.
Yes.
Just something about that was the beginning, and it came in under Daniel Andrews, and there's just something nefarious about it when it first appeared. Now, I understand from a lot of what Sue is saying and what you're saying, Ivan, that at a practical level that they have some, benefit. But, there's something else about it that is something disturbing to me, that, the way you can't take them into certain areas. It's about control, the control of population, keeping people locked into certain little 15-minute neighbourhoods. And that's the thing about it that I find
Richard, Richard, you may think it's just Sue and Ivan. I'm sitting here with someone who actually believes more in e-scooters than myself and Ivan, who uses it more than us, that he is a big believer in the e-scooter and uses it for himself.
But I'm use it private. I've got a private one. I don't use
myself?
Yes, I don't use the Lime ones or whatever. But what's that got to do with? I actually agree with Richard.
If they stop you able to use e-scooters, would you?
If the government says you can't use e-scooters, that's the point. What about all the people who've bought e-scooters?
Well, you would probably you'd stick up for that to say no. You got to have the e-scooters. You got to have.
Of course, I would. I'm not, but I'm sticking up for the lime green people. Lime. What has that got to do with them? How people ride their scooters?
Absolutely.
They've given a contract, and here's the next thing, Dickie. Is they're banning now? It's a blanket concession by the opposition and the government that a blanket ban on advertising gambling.
Oh well, I don't agree.
No. I don't think so. I don't think that's 100% right.
Thank you. What is the percentage right on that, Ivan?
I think about 30%.
Well, go ahead.
They're going to ban it on live sport. They're going to ban it around children's TV, and they're going to cap it at 2 ads for 1 hour spreads. So you're going to still have your ads during when you're watching Dancing with the Stars, but during live TV, I think it's a good idea. You've got to start somewhere, and I don't think it's coming in for another 3 years.
Why can't people advertise whatever they want? Why can't we advertise cigarettes and alcohol again? Why don't we just bring that back? That was an incredible revenue.
They're legal it's legal to smoke. It's legal to drink. It's legal to gamble. What are you restricting those? Industries for, Ivan?
Well, we're only a small country, but we're the number one
wowzers
in losing money.
Stupid rules. The number one leader in stupid rules.
Yeah, no, fair.
Well, no, I agree. Like some people can't help themselves. Like,
no, well, is that the responsibility of the rank and file and the majority of the public who have to knuckle down because a few people can't help themselves?
Well, I think it's just gone. I think it's gone too far.
No, you're going Ivan. We're only being the devil's advocate. So, if they ban alcohol advertising, do they? Is that what you said? Or did I say that?
No, I think you said that.
You can't advertise alcohol during sport, can you?
No, you can't.
No, I don't think you can.
So tell me why
you're Chinese. Unless you're Chinese.
Yes, well done, Ivan. You've read my bloody thoughts. Unless you're a Chinese alcohol company which sells 52% alcohol in bottles called those 4 numbers, 4772 or something, and have them up sponsored on the back of the main Rod Laver Arena, that's advertising alcohol during sport, during the main sport.
Well, if you're a member of the Chinese Communist Party, the Victorian Labor Party tends to give you a pass.
A free pass.
Well done. So we're not doing the Olympics yet. Well, you can do the Olympics if you want.
We're going to talk about the ray gun, don't we?
What's that?
Ray gun, my God.
We're going to talk about ray gun. Have you heard about this breakdance, though? Have you seen the footage?
Yeah, it's all over the internet. So they've just had Jimmy Fallon. So he's had someone on his show pretending to be Ray Gun, who was, it's just all over the internet. Adele at a concert.
She doesn't know how to break dance. Not that break dance really should have been in the Olympics anyway, but she turns up and she does this rather unusual kind of dance based around Australian marsupials like kangaroos and things like this. And she flops around on the floor. It's been an internet sensation. It's gone completely viral. I mean, in all honesty, it's almost worth it because it's so funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So, that'll be the takeaway from the Olympics for Australia.
No,
good on her for having a crack.
Oh,
honestly.
you got to be joking.
Ivan.
You got some dopey breakdancer. There would be a million better breakdancers. That is now. I wonder if I could say this without slighting the athletes who participate, or So this is not against the athletes. This is This is about. This is about
what the organisers.
This is about why breakdancing, skateboarding, BMX, beach volleyball is a disgrace to have in the Olympics. Why do the Olympic Committee think that they must sell their soul to suck to pastimes that attract social influences and followers? They're nothing more than pastimes or recreation. Seriously, how many people rush down to the beach every day to play beach volleyball? They are no more than recreational pursuits that require no legitimate training. They are... And it sounds like I'm knocking them. I'm not knocking them. I'm knocking the Olympic Committee who sell their soul to put in ridiculous events that don't warrant being in the Olympics. They might warrant being in any other forum, any other Eisteddfods, any other council, recreation, world championships that don't require. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is an absolute joke, and they should be ashamed of themselves, the Olympic Committee.
I think Ray Gunn has done her bit to kind of mock the whole idea. I don't think she maybe just intended that, but I think the Olympic Committee is talking about not having them back in 2028
in LA. Yeah, no.
But what about all the other? How many events did you have to trawl through to get to the? I mean, honestly, who is interested in a hell of a lot of the events? As I say, not knocking the people who take part in them. It's not their fault. If a manifesto comes out and says, "Oh, we're going to have skateboarding in it," well, I'll sign up for that. Who decides the great international sporting body called the Olympic Committee? Who puts nonsense like that in? Why do we have men's golf in it, women's? Why do we have tennis, golf, any of those things? This is meant to be elite sports that don't have their own championships. I
thought it was meant to be amateur. I thought it was meant to be amateur sports. Now we've got, as you said, we've got golf, we've got tennis. I didn't think it was meant to be professional sports, but obviously that's all changed.
Anyhow, all changed, hasn't it? Of course it is. I believe. One
big one that you probably won't believe, but it's not proceeding forward to the LA Olympics, and that's boxing. Now, boxing's been a core sport for God knows when, since the start, probably. So they're not looking at having boxing at
and they also said weightlifting, didn't they?
They had men beating up. You know?
Yeah, no, Dick, we missed that. I know it. Say that again.
We had all those men that were entered in the people with the XY chromosomes were entered in female boxing,
and there's the other disgrace. You talk about the French, the Paris Olympics. They are the worst run Olympics probably in the history of the Olympics. They stuffed up so many things. They had kooks and freaks defacing the Last Supper for the opening. They had men boxing women. They had Chinese allowed to swim after being found guilty of drugs in previous times. They had the Jews had to confront anti-Semitism at in the stadiums without any. Fraser Price wasn't allowed to start because she wasn't allowed to enter the Olympic training area for some reason. The sports events, the sprinting events, half of them were run in the rain when the track. Half of the outside lanes were run that were dry when it rained, and the middle lanes were wet because the roof had an oval roof on it. The gun, they had gun mishaps. The closing ceremony was a debacle. They had boring and self-serving speeches in French. They had gender compliant participants. What does that? Are they proud that they had gender compliant participants? I have no idea what that means. And as for the rings, how long did that go on for? And Tommy Cruise coming, it was all taped. It was all taped. If you're at the, I know people who were there. If you were there, you just watched screens. And then we went over to Los Angeles, and they had Snoop Dogg, who's last time I heard he'd beaten his missus up and on film, and he'd raped people, and he was taking drugs and selling. This is who they handed the torch over to.
Yeah, they did. But I'll tell you what, Eddie was good, wasn't he?
Eddie was fantastic.
Eddie was good. He wrapped it up in the end. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, I haven't seen them for a few years, but
exactly.
They're still knocking about.
Yeah,
but
still
what about
knocking
the big? What about the big?
Knocking things about it.
How do I say this politically correct? How's the big singer?
The large coloured lass.
Black. Yeah, coloured. That's the word.
Yeah, coloured.
Yeah. And she was singing that song.
My Way.
The Frank Sinatra one.
I did it my way.
Was it Lizzo?
Lizzo? No, her name was Yusult. She's a model, actually, Sam.
Really?
A model for what?
She's a model.
For what? Lingerie.
To get into... yeah.
She models
Vogue
lingerie.
magazine and ASOS.
That's
ASOS.
like
She models lingerie, does
she's
she?
a model.
God.
Have a look. When you get internet connection up there, have a look.
What was the other thing you said she modelled? Lingerie and what else?
No, Vogue magazine.
Vogue magazine.
Vogue magazine, and there's a product, ASOS.
What's that?
I think it's a beauty. I don't know, mascara, whatever you do.
This whole thing, to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, hang on. The Ayatollah's yelling out. What was that?
The Ayatollah, sorry. They have all these plus-size models now, so the fashion industry has been almost forced to embrace these gigantic fat people as beautiful. So, it's part of their diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda.
Okay.
Fat people are
She's
beautiful.
into fashion, apparently.
Fat people are beautiful.
Sure. Some of them are, yes, some of them are.
Well, they might have beautiful minds and spirits, but they're hardly physically beautiful. No, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not being physically beautiful. You can be beautiful in many different ways, but certainly not physically if you weigh as much as a small transit van. Well, this is only my opinion.
Of course, but you're right. Unless some people have a fetish for fat people, and good luck to them.
Yeah,
but,
they're called feeders.
There you go, feeders.
Blokes,
you know about this.
Yeah, blokes have genuinely like 600-pound girlfriends or wives that they feed deliberately to make them the heaviest women on earth, and they get some perverse joy out of that, and they have competitions to see who can have the heaviest and biggest wife or girlfriend, and they're called feeders.
I reckon that'd go well in the LA Olympics, I reckon.
Yeah, we might as well. Why don't we have pogo stick jumping and dancing and feeders? Why don't we have feeders in the Olympics? That'll be inclusive.
We could have feeders.
So, what else is going on, Sam?
Well, I noticed
the footy show reunion. They're just advertising that every second.
Are they?
Commercial break. Yeah. So that's what is it? That's the 20th of August.
Well, we haven't got that up here.
Next Tuesday.
Oh, we haven't got that up here because we. I don't think who is Queensland Channel 9 or whoever that is don't have advertising up here for that because they wouldn't show that up here, would they?
Yeah, they do. They've been advertising.
Maybe at a different time.
They're showing the Melbourne Footy Show.
So. I've seen it on TV.
30th year reunion. Yeah, no, you saw it on Channel 9 because they're doing the Olympics.
Or do you do it through Foxtel?
Are they flying you down for one night, Sam?
No, it's not a lie. It's a
pre-recorded.
It's a collation. It's a collation of the 30 years best of.
I'll edit it together. Yep.
Why don't we do a podcast reunion? We could get Grant Thomas and Mike Sheehan and maybe Tony Sheehan and Don Scott.
What about Rocket Rod?
Oh yeah, He'd go off like a firecracker.
Yeah, we could. That's right.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a reunion. That.
It would be. Yeah.
So
Next question.
So the Logies, have they come up yet? We've missed things. Have the Logies come up?
No. So that's on the 18th. That's on Sunday night, 18th of August. So
coming
who
up.
do you reckon? Yeah, it's still coming up. So
Who's hot?
it's got to be Robert Irwin.
I'm with you,
He's got
Ivan.
6 million. Yeah, he's got 6 million followers.
Yeah.
And then of course you've got Andy Lee, Tony Armstrong, Sonia Kruger, Asher Ketty. I don't think Sam would know who that is.
I don't know who any of them are.
Julia Morris.
I know. I just the man you mentioned, who I think he does sport for the ABC. Who's that?
That's Tony Armstrong, and he's and he's a footy player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
footy. So he's Sydney, Adelaide, and Collingwood.
Yeah, Sam's going for him, and I'm going for Robert. And who was wasn't
Dick.
it? No. I think it was.
Doug Hawkins.
No,
Sonia.
Donya. Dougie went for Sonia, didn't he?
Dougie went for Sonia. And where is
Kruger.
that being held?
Oh,
Where is it being held?
Be at the Crown. I'm not too sure. It'd be at the Crown Casino.
I don't think so.
Sam Pang's doing it.
Who?
Oh,
Who? Oh.
Sam Pang.
From 3-6. What's he? Hang on.
From Front Bar.
Oh
Channel-
shit! I said 360.
No, the Front Bar.
Yep, that's right. So is it in? It's in Queensland, isn't it? Or Sydney. I thought Melbourne divested itself of having it.
The Logies.
Yep. Or maybe they didn't.
I think you're right. Yeah, it could be Queensland. Yeah. They have been having it up there.
City.
Yeah.
It's in Star City in the Star in Sydney. It is. So they'll just have they'll have a sweep of the toilets to see how much cocaine has been snorted there on during the ad breaks, and
Quick line in toilets.
That's right, a big line at the toilets. So all right, so now now I notice also. I said I don't know if you've heard of Mark McClure, Dickie, have you?
I have indeed.
Yes, and Ivan, you would have heard of him. He's now says he
Carlton.
has. Yes, he has. He has CTE from playing football and being hit on the head several times. And he said one of the reasons he said that he had this CTE is that he couldn't remember how many shots he'd had on when he played golf on any particular hole. I play with plenty of people who can't count their score on the holes that they play. We get to the end of the get to the green at the end of the hole, and they say, "How many shots you have?" I said 4. I said, "Not the ones that I counted. You didn't." I think I'd hope.
So will the AFL be maybe picking up the tab for hospital bills?
My word, they Dickie. This is Ivan. This is what this is. Everyone's. There's a joint class action, isn't there?
There's a queue.
Yeah, there's a class action. Is that headed by? I don't know who it's headed by. There's a queue. So he says he's been belted around the head several times, and that's what's caused it.
How many times were you belted around the head?
I was belted around the head plenty.
Oh, then that's the reason.
Well, that's
why.
so you make a good point, Suzanne. That's true. I don't know if you say I've got my mental acuity has lost its sharpness. I would question that, but I've been, and I know I used to speak to Don Scott about this. Don was belted around. He was belted a few people. We all belted it and got belted, and it's pretty hard to quantify if that is the case. I'm not saying it's not, but all depends what your other lifestyle habits are, and how many other different sports you play that are contact sports, or you can get concussed in.
Well, just look at. I'm just thinking of one player, Barry Hall. Now, he hasn't said anything about CTE, but he's finished up his career with the AFL and he got into boxing.
Yep.
So where would that, it's going to be a can of worms once all the lawyers get to it. I hope they all.
Think anyone's scamming it? Claiming that they have problems when they don't with some of this because they've made it sort of.
Well, this is the point, mate. There's a class action, and people jump on and exploit the whole system. Very legitimate causes and cases, but I tell you what, people clamber on for a quick and easy earner, and I have no doubt that happens.
I smell a rat, mate.
Now, I noticed Scotland, and you'll be bemused by this. Scotland said they'll pick up the vacant Commonwealth Games competition. Commonwealth Games, they said, and now that Melbourne is out, Scotland said that they could put them on for $300 million. Dan Andrews' excuse for cancelling them was that it was going to cost $7 billion. So somewhere between Scotland putting them on for 300 mil and Dan saying it cost $7 billion, probably there's a little bit of bookwork needed to. What?
That's the $6.7 billion
discrepancy.
That had to pay union mates, mate. And that's where
this of course is how the former Andrews government governed. They just completely ripped the Victorian public off in every direction, money-wise, lockdowns, lying, not attending hearings, deception, corruption.
Was a kind of offshoot of organised crime under the CMFNU. It seemed to be so closely connected as to be almost indistinguishable.
And absolutely. And so, Ivan, did you have did you have anything else that you wanted to say? We're not finishing, but I just wanted to give you a chance, seeing as that you might have done some homework down there.
Yes, no, I have. I just want to read this out. Now, we glossed over the Olympics pretty quick, but there's one here, and it's around Gina Reinhardt. Okay, so I just read it out. Gina Reinhardt pours millions of dollars into Australian sport every year. We know where that's come from because it's not going to netball, Australia, particularly in swimming, rowing, volleyball and artistic swimming. Fair enough. Directly assisting athletes so that they can focus on training. 21 of Australia's 53 medal tally came from these sports that Mrs. Reinhardt supported. 19 of the medals from swimming alone. And then Kate Campbell said, Mrs. Reinhardt saved Australian swimming. So there you go. How's that? And that's just one person putting in some money to make sure we try and at least do reasonably well. So
let's give her a shout out. Shout out to Gina Reinhardt.
Yes, the benefactor of. She withdrew her money from the netball after they decided they wouldn't accept sponsorship from Alinta Gas, or was that someone else?
No. One of the female netballers said, "We take umbrage to what your dad said, Lan Hancock."
Oh, that's right.
Years ago.
Yep, that's right.
And she goes, "Well, that wasn't me. That's my dad. I didn't say it." Anyway,
that's correct.
It's
all history.
Sponsorship from them. They went all woke, so they lost it.
The Alinta Gas.
One thing she could sponsor. She could sponsor the "You Can't Be Serious" podcast.
She could indeed. So I think the Alinta Gas was the Australia cricket captain, wasn't it? What was his name? And
Pat Cummings.
Yes, he said he didn't want them to sponsor. I think they said, didn't he? Yeah.
I think he didn't want fossil fuels as a team sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah. We love fossil fuels here, don't we, Sam?
What's that?
We love fossil fuels here, so Gina Reinhardt can spend hard-earned money here. I think.
Fossil
fuels. Drill.
Drill. Yeah, speaking of the man who said that, have you noticed that he was going to do an interview with Elon Musk? And they've all now jumped up and down and have taken Musk and Trump to court because they said that he shouldn't be allowed to do an interview where he misrepresents answers that he was questions he's asked by giving the answers that he wants to. As I said, they're leaving no stone unturned other than killing him. And if you don't think it was a plot, have a look at the recent body cam footage of the coppers or the security people who warned the authorities, the Secret Service and the FBI, well before that man Crooks had a shot at Trump, and it was ignored. And if you don't think they missed their chance to kill him, you're just delusional. And they will either... What?
On the radio, they're talking that there's a shooter. Why wasn't Trump rushed off stage? This is a minute before they're on their radio discussing someone on a roof, and Trump is still allowed to talk.
Because, Dickie, because they viewed Crooks as a useful idiot, that he would probably do the job that everyone hoped he'd do, that is the people who opposed Trump, and they just let it happen. But unfortunately for them, it didn't quite work out as planned. But it probably will, as if they've stopped him doing an interview with Elon Musk, even on X, which Elon Musk was going to do because he's now thwarted because they say his answers will be dishonest or won't be accurate or whatever, whoever decides that. If you can stop him doing that, they will end up killing him. Don't worry about that. He will never get to the podium.
He's agreed to do a September 3 debate with Kamala.
He's agreed to do it. Of course, he's agreed to do it because he's got some substance when he speaks. He's got some policy. That stupid woman has not given an interview yet. She is not an interview, and they won't let her do anything unless she reads it. She is an absolute buffoon. And as for saying that she's the first African American woman, and that gains, she's not an African American. She's a Jamaican Indian. And she is just a down and out liar. She is a down and out liar. But of course we knew that.
Red Indian or like Indian?
Indian is a hot curry, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not a Ren Indian. That's that other woman who said she had Indian blood. No, what's her name? The senator from
Warren.
Liz Warren said she was an Indian, came from the Hiawatha tribe. She's got 1/32nd of Indian in her, which made everyone in America part Indian.
Yep. I think we've got more Indians than she does.
All right. So you thought the Olympics were good, did you, Ivan?
I liked it. I thought,
of course,
you're old enough to remember, like all these Olympics that go off every 4 years. There's all this stuff that goes on before. Oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, this is going to happen.
No, Ivan.
And then all of a sudden, it's fantastic.
No,
so
Ivan.
I watched.
That's of course the athletes every year make it fantastic. They're fantastic sports people. That's not the point. The point is that it was run really badly. I mean, how hard would it be? How hard would it be to screw the Olympics up? But the French managed to do it in spades. But this is nothing against the athletes, and it's nothing against the athletes that perform in those events that I'm saying shouldn't be in the Olympics. That's not their fault. But to say,
you look at the stadium that they had there in Paris compared to what we're going to present in 2032 in Brisbane with a stadium I think the stadium's almost temporary. We have got a long way to go before we look anything half decent.
So why do successive countries and cities that host the Olympics think they've got to outdo each other for space-age stadiums, space-age openings, the best closing ceremonies? If you sat through the closing ceremony and watched those Olympic rings take 3 hours for them to assemble, and all those people in those white wetsuits doing handsprings, and what are they trying to prove? That, oh, look at us, aren't we clever? And half of it, as I say, half of it was half of it was taped.
They could have had a few Moulin Rouge girls, a few shots of the Eiffel Tower, Celine Dion. That was enough. They didn't need the rest,
And Celine Dion was magnificent.
Magnificent. Did we work out if she was mining yet?
To some extent,
No, I don't know. I don't know. I watched a video on Netflix, I think it was, and that was her life. And I watched that, and then, of course, you've seen what she did on the Eiffel Tower on the opening ceremony. It just blows you away.
I think there were some great things in the Olympics, like you said, and there were many great athletes, but it was a bit just overshadowed by the mishandling of a lot of things by the Paris French Olympic Committee that seemed to make a lot of mistakes, not just one.
Yeah, I read them out, and that's an absolute fact. But the athletes,
you don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ivan. I think even Richard, you would have to say that when you run an event, that you have it planned to a T, and I can tell you it will not go to plan. And yet the people who know how things work, they'll nitpick. But from the outside looking in, people thought it was fantastic. They're looking at just the sport and the athletes, and it's not about the organisation. They just were there to play, to entertain you in sport, rather than, they don't care. There's always false starts. There's always things. There's always going to be issues. But I think it's highlighted more because of social media.
Well, you make a good point.
You do make a good point, but Sue, we did say it's nothing to do with the athletes.
You keep harping on it.
No, not the athletes. They make it great.
You're banging on.
I'm banging on about the about the running of it.
You're
the
banging on.
Athletes make it great every year. They make it great, whether you think the event should be in the Olympics or not. It's not the people, not the skateboarders or the BMX people's fault that they get asked, and the breakdancers people that get asked to go and do it. They say there's a breakdancing event in the Olympics. Wow, well, we'll put our name down for that and see if we can get in. That's not the athletes I'm having a go at. It's just they made more mistakes.
Right. But we all watch the Olympics for the athletes. That's what we watch it for. That's the bottom line.
Well, all right. Well, how many events how many events did you trawl through if you didn't tape them when they came on?
There are a lot of events that I don't like.
I trawled through 75% of them just to watch. And my point is that there's such small participant sports, and they're so small a participant sport to have the Olympic coverage. How many people go? No, how many people go?
But there's some great. I love breakdancing. I'm a TikTok fanatic, like a tragic. I see some 8-year-old kids.
Right. Why weren't they in the Olympics?
Exactly.
Because the ones that were in it were just shit house.
Exactly.
Well, that's the point.
But it's got to start somewhere. And that's a new sport. You look at other traditional sports that have been going for years that have the thing. You look at the X Games of what these are going to do. Once they merge them, it's going to be amazing.
Well...
and then you just watch your traditional, you love your athletics, your swimming and all those sort of things. That's great.
Yes.
Well, someone else, I like the gymnastics and I like something else, and I'm sure Ivan likes something, so we all like something different.
Gymnastics
and the former Olympic star, aren't you, sir? That's correct.
Correct.
There you go.
Well, the gymnastics and the swimming and the athletics, they're fantastic. How many water polo games and handball games and breakdancing sessions and beach volleyball and skateboarders and BMX bike riders, and how many of those can you watch all in a row?
Well, trawl through it. That's what you call fast
I did
forward.
trawl through it. I trawled
good.
through it. So,
that's the beauty of it.
And I'll say again, those people who participated in those events, this has no slight on them. It's why are they there in the first place?
So we can do it all again in 2 weeks' time, because the Paralympics starts on the 28th of August to the 8th of September. So if you didn't like it the first time, you can relive it all again.
So I've got a feeling, Ivan, if you probably didn't like it the first time, I'm not sure that you're going to like it the second time.
Well, the Tour de France just kicked off yesterday. The Tour de France. Do you ever watch that? The cycling that goes through the Paris, through the France countryside.
Yeah, Tour de France. It's called, Ivan. Yeah. Yeah.
So that kicked off last night.
Well, that's a huge event, isn't it?
That's pretty good. They're only going to do it in the Netherlands this year because of.
It's the Tour de Netherlands.
Sure why?
Tour de Netherlands.
Tour de Netherlands. It's going to go around in circles.
It's the Tour de Netherlands.
Anyway.
The Tour de France is now being run in the Netherlands. That's like Melbourne trying to pinch the Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
Well,
dear God.
Yeah, we're doing
Anyhow, my standout for the Olympics, besides the swimmers are just fantastic. My standout in the athletics was Nina Kennedy winning the pole vault. And the bloke won the men's pole vault. He broke the world record for it. But Nina Kennedy, I thought she was absolutely unreal. And the woman who came second in the 800 metres. I should know her name. I can't.
Jessica Hull.
What a star! What a star! Anyhow, they were my standouts.
Yep.
What about you, Ivan? Who did you like?
Let me. Yeah, I thought no, absolutely, the high jump has got to be.
The high
Swedish
jump,
guy
pole vault or the high jump?
Sorry, the pole vault. The Swedish guy that broke the world record.
Yeah, and the girl
on his third attempt, and of course the Aussie girl Nina, Kennedy.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm really in women's volleyball. I don't know what it is about that just draws me to it, but I just sit there electrified.
That's the beach volleyball.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
There's two of them, isn't there? There's volleyball and there's beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball,
correct.
mate. The one you can pick this. Yep.
And I'm please once again, nothing to do with the athlete. Why is that in the Olympics? Hitting a ball over a net on the beach.
In the Olympics, mate.
Yeah.
I think that was the most
sort of easy on the eyes. Easy on the eyes.
Yes, we know.
It was.
Yeah, why don't they play in the nude? Why don't they?
They really do.
Well,
Melbourne,
maybe in
Los
maybe
Angeles,
in LA
we could break some new ground. I noticed Sally Pearson says it's pretty mundane or pretty boring or lackluster, the new stadium in Brisbane in 2032. If they just bit the bullet and introduced nude beach volleyball, holy shit, the whole world would empty out and come over to watch. You wouldn't be able to fit them in the country.
That's true.
Jeez. Yep. No, absolutely.
All right. Well done, everyone. Now, we got a couple of shout-outs just in case you had. So we've got Michael Christian Menswear. Can I tell you this? michaelchristianmenswear.com. He has got at Father's Day specials of the Doug Hawkins signed and Sam Newman signed baseball caps, the You Cannot Be Serious caps. And I've said this before that the Vietnam manufacturers have had to they've had to go to even the foster homes of the children who make them for $2 a month they've had to sweep in busloads of people to keep making the hats for us, and it's fantastic. So we're giving a shout out. If you want them for Father's Day, you can get them from michaelchristianmenswear.com, and we're giving a shout out to Philip Nolan, Phil from San Marino, and John.
San Marino.
What?
San Marino in Italy.
No,
is it?
San Reno. What did I say?
Oh, I thought you said San
San
Marino.
Reno.
It's near Phillip Island,
Yes,
isn't it?
is that San Reno?
Gotcha.
San Reno.
San Reno.
San Remo.
San Remo.
No, Remo. That's it.
What is it, Sue? Near Phillip Island, San Remo. Anyhow, Philip will know where he comes from. He's Philip Newland. And as a John, and now I hope I pronounced this correctly, Buzentout. He's from Thomastown. And they have ordered the Doug Hawkins, Sam Newman signature hats. You Cannot Be Serious. So
what nationality is Buzentout?
Buzentout. Dutch. Is he Dutch? Is he? Comes from Holland. Oh. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, there we are. So, well done with the Olympics, and we've had a good, diverse opinion about the Olympics. And
very good.
Yeah. No. Very
all
good. Right. Do you reckon there were more ads?
I've got one more.
Do you reckon there were more ads on the? Do you reckon there was more time devoted to the ads, or more time devoted to the actual events?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah, gee, if you didn't tape it, you go mad. All right, well, there
I didn't tape it.
They got to pay for it.
Can I leave you? I'll leave you with this, boys and girls. A question. What does IBM stand for?
International Business Machines.
Correct.
Bugger. All right, I didn't think you'd get that. When did it start? When do you reckon it started? IBM. Thinking that it's computers.
Early 1930s.
Oh. Sam, Sue?
I would have said the 40s, but I don't know.
I reckon in 1911.
Oh, you Googled it.
1911.
Yeah.
1911. All right. Well, well, now you're on it. What's
all right.
What's
what's
IPEC stand for?
I please every customer.
I please. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I don't. I would say it's International Parcel Express Couriers. I wouldn't know. I'm making that up.
Oh, that's not a bad one. Yeah.
What's the big
International Parcel Express Company.
Well, I just made that up. As I said, couriers when it's company. Well, tell me what's the what's the big one?
FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx. Or Federal Express. Federal Express.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Federal.
I'll go on with this, Ivan. Spell the cigarette Marlboro.
Spell it.
You heard of Marlboro? Spell it.
Yeah, now I've got to spell. Like now I've got me anxiety.
It's a brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
just giving you time to look it up.
Of the cars.
MARLBORO.
No. That's giving
Marlboro.
you. Yeah.
MAL.
Yeah.
MAL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marlboro.
He's just Googling it.
Marlboro.
No, it's not Marlboro.
Marlboro.
No, I think MALBORO, isn't it?
Yeah. You've had time to look it up. Well done. No one had spelled it. If you didn't know,
it's from the cars, from the F1.
Everyone says MALBROUGH Marlboro. But you were right, bro. Spell. You've heard of Philips televisions and that? Philips.
Yeah, Philips.
Spell Philips.
They were huge.
Spell Philips.
Oh yeah. Now.
FILLPAS.
IPS.
It's probably just one L, is it?
Yes, Ivan, you've done well. You've got just enough time to look these two up. Let me give you one more.
All right, give me one more.
What does NATO mean?
What?
What does NATO mean? NATO.
Yes.
NATO.
North America. Yeah, I know what that means.
What
North
does it mean?
American Treaty Organization.
Correct.
North Atlantic Treaty Organisation.
Oh, North Atlantic.
Atlantic.
I absolutely.
That's
I don't know why I said North American. That North Atlantic is exactly right.
Okay.
I can't think of any others. All right. Well, there we are. I had one more to spell. I can't think of what the Oh, yeah. Spell Foster's.
Foster's?
Well, it's actually spell the legitimate spelling of Foster's.
Lager or the place?
No, just
town?
the name, Foster's.
Oh, the name.
Oh, the liquor.
Liquor.
The liquor. FOS.
Yeah.
TERS.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's apostrophe S because Mr. Foster made it, so it's his liquor. But I think the apostrophe has been dropped for a common usage. Anyhow, there we are. That's about all I could.
That's not a fact.
What? Hey, now, Dick, finally. Oh, I'm very sorry, Dick. I've nearly forgot this. Now, have you got a new film come out called The Debt Collector?
I have indeed. Yes,
well, what do you mean you've got a film? Are you the Steven Spielberg of the Muff?
I am a filmmaker. So,
tell us what you've got. You've produced a film called The Debt Collector, have you?
Yep, it stars a guy called John Brumson, who's a top Australian actor who's in Romper Stomper and many.
Oh yeah, yep.
And Roger Ward, who was in Mad Max, and Andy McPhee, who was in the Sons of Anarchy, the Bikers TV series, and another guy called Jack Ellis, who's in a show called Mr. In Between. And
so hang on, Dickie. So when you say you've produced it, what do you mean? Have you funded it? Are you part of it? What do you?
I'm a writer-director. I make films. I've been making films for the last 30 years, and this is I think it's my 8th. So, I just make independent films. I do it on a low budget, and I try and include as many interesting Australian actors as I can because I love Australian cinema, and that's what all my film festival's about. And just trying to make really interesting low-budget films in this country. And I just finished my new one. It took a while because of the pandemic. I shot it just before the pandemic, and then the pandemic kind of slowed it down 2 years. And then I managed to just finish it earlier in the year, and it's just come out on DVD and Blu-ray. You can order it if you go to Amazon.com or whatever, the local version, and just put in John Brumpton and The Debt Collector, and you can order it, or you can watch it on, I think it's on, iView and a few other local streaming services as well, like YouTube and stuff.
Isn't there another show called The Debt Collector?
Yeah, a couple other films called Debt Collector. Yeah,
so you can have multiple films. Can you call it the same name?
Well, there's no copyright in relation to the name of the film, but when I made it, the original screenplay, there wasn't this film. It just came out, around the same time. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'd already decided to call it that. And I thought, oh well, look, so there's going to be 2 films called that. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I've got, and it's funny you say that because I got a new film coming out. I put one together with a couple of friends of mine. It's called The Godfather. And
really?
Oh yeah, The Godfather. But don't get
I'm plotting a new one, Sam.
Don't get it confused with the real Godfather, but
with the original.
No, that was a joke. No, I haven't got. And Gone with the Wind. I got a new one coming out called Gone with the Wind. It's about a man who had flatulence.
1999, The Debt Collector came out.
Well, Decky, we can't watch it on. Can I get it on television up here where I am or not?
Yeah, I can send you a link, mate. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, you can definitely watch it on iTunes or YouTube.
Oh, is it on YouTube?
But it's not on TV. That's what Sam's asking. Is it on TV?
Google around. Just put into Google Debt Collector.
The Debt Collector.
John Brumpton. That will make sure differentiate.
What happens if we put in the Debt Collector Dickie from Muff?
Well, if you put in my full name, that'll come up too, which is Richard Wollstonecroft.
Yeah, good on you, Dick. All right. Well, thanks very much, everyone. Now we're going to speak to a man. They're 2 diverse subjects. We're going to speak to a bloke called John Van Wisser, who's going over to swim the Loch Ness again. He tried to break the record last year, but got thwarted by the changing tide. And we're also speaking to a man called Michael Engerman, who is into cryptocurrency and tried to explain to a dumbass like me what is going on in the world of crypto and world finance. So that's coming up after this. So thank you very much, both of you, for being part of this, and we'll speak again.
Thank you, Sammy.
Good to hear from you, mate. All right. Good on you, Dick.
Good on you, Ivan. Good talking to you, mate.
See you, mate.